This video is going to be an analysis of just some of Judo's entry forms and of the many throwing techniques that are used in Judo. Now these are the harikata, or the entry forms for all throwing techniques. Harikata is also used as entry forms for ground fighting techniques, but the throwing techniques are going to be emphasized here. Now hold on everybody, it's going to be a 30-minute video. We're going to go into some depth and detail at some point. And by the way, everything in this video is included in my book, The Judo Advantage, so I do hope you purchase that book. It will be a good adjunct to everything you see in this video. Action is really important in Judo. It's one of the major movements in Judo, this lifting, pulling, the surikomi action. A lot of throws, just surikomi goshi is the basis of it. Harai goshi, hani goshi, uchimata. A lot of forward throws are use this type of a lifting, pulling action, this entry action. Good kumikata. He's got a good grip here at the elbow. Now his right hand on the sleeve. Now it's a basic kumikata start. Okay, it's a basic lapel sleeve grip start. Okay, so let's focus on the hands now, on the hands and arm action. So when Derek lifts Eric, he's going to pop him up. Now notice the back of the hand. He's look at the back of the hand like it would be a wrist watch or something here. But his elbow is up. See this straight line of pull is here. How he's really lifting him up. This surikomi action is now starting. This actually, suri is to lift or to hang someone in the air. Now the right hand is, the fist is straight up, okay? The elbow is straight down along the line of Eric's pectoral. Okay, along the line of his left pectoral right here. See that? And that's the action there. And it's a deep action there, okay? Now, as Derek does this, as he's starting to pull, you notice he's stepping in his right foot. Now, he's just going to spin around with his hip. Now, look, see this? The hands are very important here. Now, a lot of people don't give it, they think the hip, which is there, it's perfect. You've got to have that hip action, but these hands are really important here. The hip is in front, the knees are pointing to the left, the feet are pointing to the left slightly, and what he's going to do, he's going to lift him and pull him over his body. We're looking at, guys, is look at Derek's right hand there. It's his right side of his fist, his ulnar edge of his hand is the one that's facing Eric's shoulder. So go ahead and grip just like a normal kumikata. And like you said, it's like you're knocking on the door. Like you said, you're knocking on the door. And then when they answer, you pop it open like that. And see how that action is. Now what that does, that turns your hand to the inside, and you're not curling it like an Amorote Soinagi. People will make that mistake. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is just to use that to lift and pull. Yeah. And that creates that surikomi action.
It's an equal opposite thing. However much you're thrusting that elbow into them, you're pulling back to get the tension and to lock them on your forearm.
Yep.
So that when you turn, that's forcing him to move with you. And if I get the elbow through, but I'm very passive with this grip, as I turn, it has a tendency to do
right. That. And when you add your other left hand on the hikite, the pulling arm, see that really opens them up deeply in there, and that allows you to come in and get your hip in position to actually do the technique. He's going to pop them up now. See that? Open in here. Now his hip is starting to come into position here, so this is the surikomi action with the body too. Okay, he's going to turn in and he's going to throw. Pops him up. He comes in with a hip and he throws. That's surikomi goshi. Watch when he sets him up. Now, surikomi action, lifting, pulling here, like that. Now, watch the right foot across. It's not stepping to him; it's just across his body. Now he's giving his hips room to turn, and rotation is deep here. Got a lot of torque. He's ready to load him up and nail him. See that? Look at that back foot in there. And now, as he keeps turning, he will split down the middle. Catch the uchimata. Okay. So that's how the mechanics of this thing work. He swings in. But did you see that foot? We want to split down the middle Uchimata, okay? Now, there are several kinds, a couple basic kinds, the leg style, it's more of a hip style Uchimata, but think not so much hips, it's more lift. I want this, and this hikite here, this lifting hand, this pulling hand I should say, that pops him up, and the right hand, your surinte, your pulling hand, sucks it into you. So you don't want a lot of gap in here. Now, okay, got that? Now, see the distance here? This is really good even if guys are bent over, but it's pretty well put right here. Now watch. All Derek wants to do is get his right foot out of the way. Just put it there. That's enough. Just as long as he can get that turn with a back step in super, super deep. That back step's going to be super deep. Now he's doing real slow. But see how deep that is? You've got to be that deep. Then, as soon as you get that super deep split between the legs, you pop it with the Uchimata. You can shoot the tank with your right leg. So go ahead and toss it once. That's it. See how literally you split the guy in half. You're coming a straight line down the middle. It's really, I like to refer to it as a fast foot Uchimata, because as soon as you plant your left leg, your base leg, or your driver leg, as soon as that happens, you've got to substitute your sweeping leg, your attacking leg, okay? Now watch how he does it again. Comes in. It's not a slow move. You've got to split it. This is, Uchimata means, you know, inner thigh, but it's like, here's the fork in the road, and here's the middle of it. You want to split them right down the middle. That's what it is, splitting them right down the middle. Like a branch of a tree, by Uchimata. Okay. So let's look at it one more time, and then we're going to do some Chikomi drill. We're going to have to practice it. He swings in, but did you see that foot that right foot just got out of the way? Don't make a big step like this. It's too exaggerated. He's not stupid. He's not going to fall for that. Okay? Here's your setup with your hands. This is where your hands are so important. So you pop them up, get your foot out of the way, and you drive in and bang in. Sometimes, if he's all bent over and he's wanting to make space, okay, a lot of guys do that. So he may not let you get an initial inside foot here. He may say, no, I'm backing out of that one, okay? And that's a very good comment that happens. In that case, what Derek's going to do here, he's just going to kind of shuffle in, he's just going to kind of step in where he gets his foot in position. A quick shuffle in like this, and a quick spin. Okay, I'll let him do that. Now watch how he kind of shuffles in. See that? The best way to call it is a shuffle. You know, it's just a shuffle type step, like that. See that? Okay, so shuffle in. And that's a real world situation. Where you draw space, you have to shuffle in. I like to do a lot of crossbody or lateral movement stuff here because he's weak on the sides. You know, he's a lot stronger forward. He's even sort of front corners, back corners, but along the side, he doesn't have a whole lot of muscle there to protect him, to stay, you know, for stability. And that's what we're working on here. So that's why we're going to go on the side, and certainly maybe the front or back corner, but certainly the side, more lateral, straight line movement to the side. Trapper. When I do that, I step straight in. Now look at my toe. That's the direction he's going to fall to. Okay, that's the line of the throw right there. Now notice how close we are. I'm not way out here. I'm close in tight. Because when I do this, I'm going to point my toe on my hook. It's good that you're right over there. Okay, he's going to step, and he hits. So when we're finding opposite sides, you want to, if I'm leaning here, I want to start with my foot inside his foot, and guess what's connected to my foot? My leg and my hip. So my hip is really on the inside of his hip, because that's how I'm thinking about it. I want to make sure my hips are, I can shave right in front of him, okay? If I start back out here, you know, he's got the inside hip, but he might have the advantage, okay? So I want to think about that. So my opening stance is just like this, see that? I'm just right in front of him, right there, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is a pretty basic thing. It's nothing fancy. I'm going to step out this way. As I step out this way, I want to take my step where it's kind of opening in this direction. Okay, I'm not stepping across him. A lot of times we do that. In this case, we're just opening him up. When I open him up, I draw him out with my hands. Okay? So, he's going to be doing a Taiotoshi. You can do pretty much any forward throw from this position. So all I'm going to do is a quick pop and a quick step. That's all. It's a quick step, quick pop. That's it. Boom, like this. And it's important that you pop and step at the same time. All right, so it's boom, like that. And then you dive right in with your throw. Okay? So he's leading. We got a Kenkayotsu, opposite sides situation here. All right? Now, what Derek, all he wants to do is pop up and step out. And as he does that, now we load him up for his Taiotoshi. Boom. Okay? You can do any throw from this. You can come knee drop saying either. You can do left knee. There you go. Got the idea. So the idea is to draw him forward. Okay, where he's again. If I've got Derek here and I'm a righty, he's a lefty. Okay, so I want to take him this way, and that's the important thing to do. And once see that big hole, that's where I'm going. So just boom, right there, and now. And even if you like a crossbody Osoto, you can come across here, that deal too. If anything is open there that you've got to direct it in the direction you want to go, okay?
I need space to get my hips turned. I need some space, right? So all I'm going to do is give him a shove with my hands, get him to react. Stutter step, get him to react. Just gonna shove, just right here. Just a little right here. Then I can hit my Taiotoshi, Uchimata, whatever. Okay? So we're here, just shove, react. Okay. So right now, just try to open up some hip room. All right, shove, we're here. Throw. Okay?
These hands are like shock absorbers, like springs. And we're gripping here, and remember, start the position you want to start. So if I'm all the way out here and I'm not in position to throw, this isn't going to work. I've got to be already set, so my initial stance is important, okay? And when you get your grip, whatever it may be, in this case of kumikata, when you want to pop up, and then you want to get that reaction. You're going to push it, it's just like this, like a springing action, okay? Like shock absorbers. So, because what I want to do is I want to open this, I want him to give me his hips. In other words, I want the space in front of his hips to attack. So we're working here, there's my grip, and then boom, hit, pop, hit. And then when I hit, I start the setup, here's my Kuzushi, start my setup, whatever, Uchimata, Taiotoshi, whatever it is. But this action here, open and then pull. See that? That's exactly right. And then see, look, all the space is open there. He just has to turn the body in front, which whatever technique you want forward throw, you got it. Do that again. Pop it, and look how that opened. Now that's Kuzushi right there, isn't it? Okay? This thing is called welcome. It means pushing in. I'm pushing him and creating the reaction. Okay, that's how you create the reaction. Right? And you like a Taiotoshi from that instead of slow motion. Yes, there you go. And hit. Got that? That's what we're looking for. It's a really great, it's real simple in its concept, push and attack. First. watch that back step. See that back step? Now, as that back step comes in, he starts to lift with the hands. He's pulling. Okay, so now he's controlling with his upper body. Now, all this action will help him be able to turn his hips very quickly. All right, guys, here's what we're going to work on. We're going to work on a very basic thing that what we want to do is shave some time off your throw. We want to get more movement, more effective movement in your forward throwing techniques. And my goal is this. Just stand. Sure. My goal is this. I want to make sure I can turn my hips as quickly as possible. That's my goal here. So to make my hips turn, I have to manipulate my feet so they'll be able to turn my hips and turn my body, right? And at the same time, I'll be using my hand. And we're going to do something, it's very old, and it's called a fumikomi, or stomping step, okay? It's a back step. So what it'll look like is if I'm facing this way, and I'm kind of leading off, there's my partner, there's Derek right there. And it's a back step into it. See that back step? Now, the quicker I can do this back step here, see on the toes, and then quickly turn, I turn my hips. If I take a really long time to just do this, he's already gone. I've got to be able to turn my hips and get in front of him so I can load him up for a seoinage or a hip throw or a taiotoshi, uchimata, whatever it may be. But this fumikomi action is really an important one. And if I get this back step, okay, if I can get this and quickly turn, and it's not two movements like Derek and I were talking about. It's not me coming in and doing, just like stomp and stomp. It's really kind of one movement, back step, and look, see, and then back step and turn. But I've got to get my hips in front of him quickly. Can you do that? And it'll end in any forward throw. Now let's parse that out. So he's leading, he's sugarfooting here, leading here. With his back leg, he's just going to step about. Okay, let's turn around so we get this view. Keep turning. Okay. There you go. Now watch that back step. See that back step? Now as that back step comes in, he starts to lift with the hands. He's pulling. Okay, so now he's controlling with his upper body. Now all this action will help him be able to turn his hips very quickly. The quicker I can turn those hips, the quicker I'm going to turn. Okay, so let's look at it again. He back steps, and he turns quickly. Now let's put it together. Okay, back step, very quick turn. See that? And the quicker you can turn, the better. Now let's take you turn into taiotoshi. Okay, so he turns into a taiotoshi. There you go. What we want to do is shave that time off getting into that taiotoshi. I don't want him to be able to see anything other than a blur on your feet, because if you can get that back step, that fumikomi, okay? If you get that, quick turn, and you've got to have that first, and then you can launch him with whatever forward technique you want. And it's one of those really subtle but really important things we do in throwing someone forward over our bodies. Okay? Can you do one more time? Watch the, and turn on so you see. Watch his back step action. Back step, see that? And turn. Now when you get that back step in, be sure you're on your toe. Don't just flag, because it limits your movement, okay? You want to be able to just do it stomp. And I remember when I used to teach this to kids, I would say it's your stomp foot. And it really is. When fumikomi means to stomp on something, okay? And that's what you're doing. You're doing this stomp. Now you can start from any position, but generally if you have a slight lead in your hip, so if he has a slight lead with his right foot, right hip, he can get in quicker with that fumikomi. Okay, and as he does that, now watch the hand action. Okay, lift up the there you go. See that? See, whoa, that really takes him off balance, doesn't it? Now this time he can put it together with his taiotoshi. See how quick that is? You got that, because that makes it look like, because it is very much what you're doing. When you're coming in, say on the taiotoshi, when you're coming in with that back step, you're lifting him, and by doing that, when you turn, you are now under his center of gravity as well. Let's look at that one more time. So I'm gonna have you guys practice this, okay? So watch when he comes in and as he steps in, he starts to lift. Now, see he's starting to lift everything up and forward. He's creating a nice cavity here, okay? And when he goes ahead and shoots in, he's ready to toss him. Okay, so let's look at it one more time. Is this just let me come once or twice and throw it? See that? See the hips? We get those hips and pull at the same time. We could use any throw, but we're using Toshi here because it's a very good example of how you need to get the hips in. Derek wants to sugarfoot. He wants his foot meeting his opponent's, his right foot meeting his opponent's left foot. Because what he's going to do, he's going to come in at an angle, and when he comes in, he's going to sweep and he's going to catch the inner thigh right about here when he comes in. So just watch him do it, and okay, just go ahead and toss him once. So everybody see that? Comes in, and it looks like this classic Uchimata, like it's great. But it looks like he was jumping for him. It wasn't. This really works. Step in. Good. Now you see, Derek made a point. He stepped across the body, but look what he did with his toe. He stepped out so he'd have a good base. Step out. See that? Okay. That's from his. Watch it. Step. You see how he slides that in? It's a side step. He doesn't expect to go sideways and get tossed. So watch how he sugarfoot's here. Now watch with that left foot when he steps across. See that? Now his hips are almost in position. Now he's ready to just shoot and lift. And as you notice what he did with his right foot, he pointed his toe, and his toe was up, almost like a ballet dancer. Comes in. When Derek throws, he wants his head in front of his knees. In other words, his butt's going to be pretty far back, and he's leaning into the direction of the throw, and rather than being just squatting and being upright. Okay, so we're going to show you the wrong way first. Just come in and squat upright, just like you're squatting. Okay, now that could work. Don't get me wrong. Some guys may like that, but if you want to get a lot of more ballistic effect, really drill this guy when you come in. If we come back out, when you're coming in, you're going to just literally dive in deep like that. See how low he is? And then when he throws, just go ahead and complete the roll. Wham. See how he stays really round. We talk always about staying round.
I'm just going to attack straight in, pop in with the hip. So I'm just going to attack straight in, pop in with the hip.
And you finish right over. Just literally dive in deep like that. See how low he is? And then when he throws, just go ahead and complete the roll. My starting position is key, just like in any other technique in doing anything, how you start. If you start right, you finish right, okay? So in this case, instead of squaring with him, when we're working on this, I'm going to be over here. I'm going to be over here sideways. So can you see this thing over here? So my left foot is pretty much parallel right in front of his left foot, I should say. So that's my starting position. So instead of starting here, I work out and moving over and starting, and before he adjusts, that's when I hit. I can be getting a left grip, and we're working, and I can be starting here like this, and he's thinking something coming over here because I've got a left grip. Well, I'm going to shoot across. Here's an alley right here. I can shoot across on the there, shoot across there. So he's got that left grip. He's starting that left lead, step over. There you go. You get a nice, deep seoi-nage. So it's a nice Mawari spinning action on that entry. Mawari means to spin or to turn, you know, quickly, and komi is to enter into something. So it's a quick spinning entry. We call it a crossover step over step, crossover step entry. Let's do that seoi-nage one more time. It's a left grip, and he leads. Again, he's over here. Just turn it on the side. So here he's got this alleyway here already. So when he does step over, he's going to step over. He doesn't have to step much, and then he's going to keep cocking, and he's ready to load him. Okay? So that's how that looks, and he's basically giving you an alley to enter into and to throw. And that's what it looks like.
As you come across and come in, you jam it across, but you also bend your legs. Okay? So when you come down, you're already in a crouch and you're ready to spring forward. A variety of different approaches there. Ashiguruma, Oguruma, Haragoshi. Just depends on where you are in relation to his hips and where your foot's going. I like the UCHI. It's a little bit easier for me.
And now, a key point for everybody is don't just let your right leg swing wildly. You actually kind of cock it almost like a karate type kick or type movement. There you go. That type of action.
Cross, up, twist.
Okay. Get this back grip just around here, okay? I want to get this grip because this way I can also suck him in tight. I'm going to have my left foot on the inside of his right foot. I'm going to suck him in, and as I suck him in, I'm going to spin about, I'm going to sweep. And when I do this, I want to make sure my right foot, my base leg, my base foot is out here parallel to his. I don't want to be up here. I don't want to be real far back here either. I want to be pretty parallel to him. So I'm going to be doing this from here. I'm going to spin around and see there's the foot. See the feet? What I'll be doing then is from this base here, I'll sweep probably under thigh up here. Sometimes I may even catch them low down on the lower leg. You're still going to throw them. But what you're going to do is as you wheel them over, you're going to sweep very hard and you roll them right over. Here's the grip. Now watch, he's got his foot on the inside. He's just going to come about and spin. That's it. There you go. A good variation of getting into Oguruma, it's a very useful throw, by the way, especially for big tall guys with long legs, like we are. So let's take a look at it. Get your back grip here. Turn. You get this back grip here, so you got a good grip here. All right, it's more competitive style. And right here, here. So I've got, like, put the loop over them. Remember how we talk about that a lot? So I've got a loop around them, and I just suck them in nice and tight. Okay. But when I do this, I want to make sure I'm going to put his pectoral area to my pectoral area, and it's kind of like a hinge on a door. It's just moving. Okay. So you can picture that in your mind. So when I do this, when I suck it in, we're probably going to have to be fairly close contact here, fairly short gripping situation here. When I do this, when I pop them in here, and here's the contact right here. See this? And now all I'm going to do, or I want to do, is I'm going to keep sucking him in this way, keep turning. As I turn the body, I try to pull my hand all the way around over to here, back behind my left side here, as I swing about and catch him with the Oguruma into your chest. And a lot of times it could be, come out just a second, you're fairly close grip, you're working real close. This is where you're working real tight, close contact. Your first goal is to suck him into your chest, peck to peck. Now see, once he does that, he'll do a quick back spin and Oguruma. And it's not Harai Goshi because he's not throwing him over his hip. He's throwing him over this upper part of the leg, so it makes it an Oguruma. So look at how he does it. See how he sucks it in, peck to peck, turn. And then by pulling him in peck to peck, pulling the pec to pec here, when you're doing this, see, it gets you, you're nice and solid here, and as you're turning, as I do my back step, you can't help, you help turn them over. And so you're really steering like this. One more time. So look at how he pulls the pec to pec. There you go, he's right on. So that's a really cool old Garuma, and there are a lot of different ways to do all the basic throws, and this is just one of them. What I do is when I spin in, I want to keep trying. I want to keep doing. I want to keep hopping, and I want to keep moving little short, choppy steps backward, and maybe 2 or 3, kind of in a semicircle. And as I do that, every time I hop with this foot, this leg, the attacking leg, goes a little higher, okay? And my head goes a little lower. And that's why you want to keep that toe always pointed, okay? So when I come into Uchimata here, and whatever entry you want to do, however you want to set it up, I don't care. But it's going to be more of probably a leg style Uchimata to start. And when he does, you're going to keep hopping, and comfortable in with it. And as you do, your hand action is going to be not so much pulling out, but steering it like this. And you'll see Derek when he does it. This is lifting hand, will be steering more, and this will be guiding around this way, almost putting like you're putting in a pocket. So it won't be so much, if you find that you like this better pulling out, fine, do it. But generally it works better for most of our people. When we come in, we've got this pulling down in like this as we steer them through. There you go, okay? There you go. The more he tries to hop around and avoid, the deeper that lets Derek in for the attack. Because you see how he keeps on his base leg here, he keeps hopping back. See that little short choppy steps? And the attacking leg keeps going higher as he's pulling over. So as the action keeps going, his head keeps going down, his foot keeps going up. And you end up popping clean. So a couple more. This, he's starting with kind of a leg style Uchimata. That's the hop Uchimata. It's a pretty simple concept, but what it does, if the defender just stops your movement, if you like, by hopping around, lifting a leg, you'll see a lot of guys to avoid, they'll just kind of lift their leg and avoid it. Well, stay with it. It really lets you get in deeper underneath them. And you can probably get your hips in any deeper underneath there and cause a nice lift. There you go. Boom. Yeah. And that's what it looks like, the hop action. Okay?